I haven't washed my hair in nearly 2 years, and no, I'm not insane, and no, I'm not going to harp on about no shampoo and all of this, buzz your hair, etc. I'm just going to break down why the entire hair care industry as you know it is genuinely cooked, and how you need to use this knowledge to save some money, get healthier, look better, and feel better. It's really that easy, and the fact that this information isn't public just shows how cooked all of you are. So listen up, this is some absolute gold dust. I'm not going to waste any more of your time. I'm going to get right into the video, and this is what you should do to uncook your hair and why you should never wash it again. And for reference, I do currently have one of the largest health-based paid communities in the world, and at the same time I've transformed hundreds if not thousands of clients now, transforming from this to this and this to this, rewiring their health from the inside out and realizing that looks is just health. Looks maxing is just health maxing, and until you realize that, you will never get anywhere. So let's get into it. I'm going to stop waffling on. Modern shampoo is absolutely destroying your hair. Wow, just caught your attention. Just had a voice crack as well. Okay, flying start to the video. I literally have the biochemistry to prove why it's destroying your hair as well. A year ago, actually nearly 2 years these days, I completely stopped using commercial hair products, and the results not only transformed my hair, but everything I thought I knew about hair care. See the rhyme on that? Today, I'm going to break down the exact mechanisms of how modern hair care is damaging. In fact, it's absolutely cooking your hair, and what you need to do instead. Now, let's start with what's actually happening to your hair every single time you use bloody shampoo. I'm getting pressed over this. That ingredient you can't pronounce, sodium lauryl sulfate, well, it's an industrial degreaser. Literally the same chemical used to clean bloody garage floors. But if you want more, here's the actual mechanism behind the damage. SLS molecules are aggressive surfactants that don't just remove dirt, they tear apart, actually bleep that out, they tear apart the lipid barrier protecting your scalp. And so every time you use shampoo, you're creating this microscopic damage to your skin's protective layer, slowly destroying it, slowly damaging and literally ruining the barrier, damaging your body, not cleaning your hair, you're tearing apart and tearing off your bloody skin. So that's just the first point, and the fact that this isn't common knowledge is ridiculous. But the science gets even more concerning when we look at what happens on the cellular level. Yes, time for a bit of a science lesson, my friends. Your scalp's microbiome, the ecosystem of beneficial bacteria that evolved with us for millions of bloody years, gets decimated, absolutely cooked. Effects coming in, and this basically triggers a cascade of inflammation. Your sebaceous glands panic and overcompensate by pumping out excess oil, and therefore it creates this perfect storm of disruption that the hair care industry literally profits from, like bloody gremlins. And it gets even worse. These silicones in your conditioner, dimethicone and cyclopentasilicone, they're basically liquid plastic. And here's what's actually happening. These molecules create an artificial coating that suffocates your hair shaft. Under a microscope, you can literally see how they form a synthetic barrier that blocks nutrient absorption. And your hair might feel smooth, but it's slowly dying from lack of natural oil circulation. So what's happening is, and I know I threw a load of big words at you because obviously I want to make this engaging, but we also have to make this relatively science-backed and realistic. Everything they're putting in shampoo, conditioner, and every hair product you've grown up using, saying that you need to use to clean your scalp, not get greasy hair, etc., is all BS. And all it's doing is perpetuating this cycle where it disrupts your natural oil patterns, ruins the natural strength and strength of your hair, and basically causes you to buy more products like leave-in conditioner or some shiny oil or a new like a 21-in-1 bloody combination Magico Black Friday discount thing, and then you're just getting scammed and destroying your health from the inside out. And if you don't realize the fact that this is leaching into your body, this is negatively affecting your hormones, which I'm going to get onto, it's literally affecting the way you think, it's affecting your efficiency, it's affecting your sense of happiness on a deeper level. And obviously these really small things don't make a difference every single time you shampoo, but they compound. You've been doing this for how many years, and then you wonder, why is the entire world sad, ugly, and depressed? Random thoughts, not calling you out, but I'm kind of calling you out, buddy. Lock it. And by the way, I was going to stop waffling on about how bad this stuff is for you, but I also want to say one other point. You can't also forget that most of these commercial shampoos, as I said, affect your hormones. They contain things like paraben and formaldehyde-releasing preservatives. And these chemicals are literal endocrine disruptors. I just spat, sorry about that. They interfere with your hormonal system. And research actually shows that they can even penetrate your scalp and therefore enter your bloodstream, potentially disrupting the very hormones that regulate hair growth. We're talking about compounds that can literally alter DHT sensitivity at the follicle level. And DHT is the #1 hormone for even developing your bone structure in the first place. We understand how everything is cooking you. You know, we understand you've got to stop using these products. Well, what do you do instead? If you stop using them, your hair's going to get greasy because you've been relying on them for so long. You can't just stop and go cold turkey because you're going to become ugly, unhealthy, because you're probably cooked from the inside what you're putting into your body diet-wise as well. Well, let me run you through the protocols, the heavenly goated elite protocols. I'm going to tell you exactly what to do from now on. Let's get cracking. Let's keep continuing. What do you do instead? Now, believe it or not, there is a pretty good natural alternative to shampoo, even though it doesn't actually function as a shampoo, technically as a conditioner, but it will sort your hair out. And that is literally egg yolks. This is the best natural alternative, and it's a complete nutrient powerhouse. Egg yolks contain lecithin, which is a phospholipid that acts as a natural emulsifier. When you massage it into your scalp, the lecithin molecules bind to excess oil and debris while preserving your natural sebum barrier. But it goes deeper than that. Egg yolks are also rich in biotin and choline, and biotin is the precursor to keratin production, and your hair is literally only keratin. Your hair is just keratin, and so if you consume more natural bioavailable biotin, your hair actually gets stronger, and obviously if you apply it topically to your hair, it will repair damage at the cuticle level, a really small level as well. So the protocol for actually leveraging the egg yolks is relatively particular, and I haven't said this and explained this enough in the past, okay? What you want to do, unless you have exceptionally long hair, right, I wouldn't recommend using any more than half of an egg yolk. For my length of hair, and actually I have decently long hair, so for most people I would even use less, I only use a quarter of an egg yolk. So not the egg white. The egg white contains avidin, which potentially may bind to biotin. So leave the egg white, separate it, just get the yolk. Then you pinch the yolk, you put it in a bowl, you bring it to the shower, right? And you throw away the rest, and you just put it down the drain. And then a quarter of the egg yolk that's left, literally not even that much, you're gonna put it in your hair. You're going to make sure, and by the way, for all of you doofuses out there that take insanely hot showers, you need to have cold water or like lukewarm water at the very least when you're in the shower and you're washing your egg yolk. Otherwise, the egg literally cooks within your hair. And so if you think your hair is going to stink, that's usually why, because people come to me and they say, well, Oscar, I did it and my hair stinks or it doesn't feel as good, is because they use the entire egg yolk and they take a very hot shower and they're literally cooking egg in their hair. And of course they smell like a bloody egg then. If you bring it to the shower, you don't leave it in your hair, you get a quarter of an egg yolk, the water's cold, you put it right in your hair, you run your hands through it, and then you wash it right out. That's all you need to do. It is as easy as that. It doesn't smell, it doesn't stink. It's very easy. It's not going to cook your hair, especially if you don't use too much. It's the base shampoo, even though technically it's a conditioner, but I won't bore you with all of that. That's the kind of base of what you need to be doing. The frequency, which I use it, is once every 2 weeks, once every 12-ish days, maybe. Let's say around that. I used it this morning, actually. So my hair is like maybe not completely prime because I think egg yolk and then wait a couple of days and it's perfect. But yeah, that's all you need to do. That's the protocol with egg yolks. And the second most powerful compound after this is literally just pure cold pressed hexane-free castor oil. You can also use coconut oil for styling, but I'll explain that. Castor oil is a literal powerhouse. It's a potent antimicrobial agent. Castor oil is goated. It's potent antimicrobial. It will help relax and clean your scalp from the inside out. And at the same time, it contains a unique compound called, I'm going to remember this, I swear, ricinoleic acid, something like that. And it directly stimulates blood flow to your follicles and promotes cell membrane health. So the molecular structure of this acid makes it very powerful because it basically boosts and strengthens every single process of hair growth, etc. Now you have to remember that castor oil is exceptionally thick. You're not going to apply it to style your hair. You're using this mostly as a mask. You put it in your hair and then you wash it out and you use it to reset your natural oil patterns, improve and reset your hair health. You know, for actual styling, what I'd recommend for those of you that care is this: you use the egg yolks to wash your hair, replace it as shampoo, even though again it's not completely shampoo. Use the castor oil once a week, wash your hair with it, reset your hair. Then, depending on your goals, right, what I personally use is I just take the tiniest amount of coconut oil after I get out of the shower, whether I use an egg yolk or not, even if I just wash my hair. Or also, this is another thing I forgot to mention, you of course need to get a shower filter. I mentioned this in my other video, but this is foundational. I won't even begin to harp on about the negative impacts of fluoride. But what I do is after you wash your hair with the shower filter, you just take the tiniest amount, and I'm not talking just a fingertip amount, I'm talking like you get the coconut oil and you wipe it off and you have like just a drop of oil and you rub that in between your hands, you put it through your hair, and that's the easiest thing you can do to make it kind of healthy, shiny, and that's what I do. At the same time, you can also use a completely natural sea salt spray, but don't buy one online, don't be a melon. And you do also have to remember this does dry your hair out, but if texture, the easiest thing you can possibly do is get sea salt and some kind of water and pour it in a glass bottle, shake it up, and then just scrunch your hair when you get out of the shower. And that's all you really need to do if you actually want texture. But you'll also realize over time, your hair will naturally develop texture as your natural oil patterns are allowed to finally reset. You rid it of all of the BS chemicals that you've been using for years, and you realize how you were meant to look, feel, and be. You know, genuinely, everyone these days is operating at like 50% of their actual potential, and your hair is only just 1/80th of the problem, you know? So lock these things in. It's very, very easy, and these are the key kind of protocols. Now, in terms of what to expect, the first 2 weeks of the transition for me were, if I'm honest, pretty cooked. My scalp was literally detoxing from years of chemical dependency. My sebaceous glands were still in overdrive programmed to overproduce oil from years of harsh washing chemicals and all of the BS. But by week 4, my scalp's natural feedback mechanisms started working again, and over time, it just became exponential. Now I don't have to rely on anything. My hair's become thicker. Naturally, it's actually like balanced out. It was previously very straight, then it became overly curly and frizzy. Now you don't have to deal or suffer with any of that. All of these solutions that the hair care industry is selling you isn't meant to help you. It is literally just made to keep you buying. So this isn't about saving money or going hippie, natural, etc. This is genuinely about what actually works, what is actually healthy, and how you should be doing it anyway. Everything that anyone is trying to sell you, I don't care if it's natural shampoo, look at the ingredients, I still guarantee you it has like 50. It's all a joke, it's not real, and there is no such thing as a natural shampoo. Genuinely, just use an egg yolk, a quarter of an egg yolk, use a natural shower filter, use naturally occurring oils. Also, and I haven't mentioned this, but this is linked to other things, and if you're familiar with my channel, you know about this, you can check my other videos, and you can even join the link in the description, my community, if you want access to kind of all of this information, because again, this is only one part of the entire kind of solution of fixing your health, but your diet will be directly linked to your hair quality and growth. It's obvious to say you need to be nailing your diet, and this isn't just, you know, a one-time fix. This is just a simple lifestyle. It's not difficult. It's easily sustainable, because when you actually realize how good you can feel, you never go back. It's as simple as that. So if you want to uncook your hair, this is exactly how to do it. Stop using all of the hair care products that you've used. I don't care if they're natural, they're not. I've explained the reasons and the mechanisms, and sodium lauryl sulfate is just one example of many of the potent chemicals. There are no natural alternatives. They don't really exist. The only natural alternatives are things with one ingredient, okay? Fix everything from the inside out, rewire your hair, you can thank me later, and at the same time, obviously, you need to get a decent haircut, so don't be a melon. Maybe I'll make a video on that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Stop being absolutely cooked. I hope you enjoyed this video. I tried to provide some actual science so you can understand and really, really not just listen to me, form your own opinion, and you know, when you see results, you can thank me later. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next one.